and welcome back. This is just carrying on from where I left off last time, really, and just talking about random stuff, really. So thank you for your comments from the last video. It's kind of reassuring to know that this issue around mental health shaming doesn't just affect me. Obviously, it's not good that it affects others as well, but it's kind of reassuring to know that I'm not the only one, because it can sometimes feel, quite isolating when you have mental health problems. So thanks for sharing your own experiences. One of you mentioned the issue around social services, and how social services, I think you said that social services have denied you support or something, which is really, really out of order. It might be an idea to challenge them on that, because it's really unacceptable that they've denied you support when you obviously need it. And it's not right that your mother and disabled carer is expected to look after you. Like, social services should really be helping, because it's just not acceptable. So I hope you manage to get that sorted, and because they should really be providing you with support. They shouldn't be waiting for something to happen, where you'll be in a crisis situation. They should really be helping you now. And I think they're doing this a lot at the moment. They're trying to find excuses to deny people support because of austerity. I'm convinced. I know you would have got support if you'd applied, say, 15 years ago. You would have got support. It's all to do with austerity, really. I'm surprised they turn you down, considering you are so disabled and you need a lot of help. And your needs are pretty much the same as my needs, and I have a social care package. But I think because I got in the system before austerity, I think that's the reason why. Because I'm like I say, if you'd got in the system all those years ago, I think you would have managed to get a care package. Although they're not following my care package, although I've got one since I've become housebound, they're not actually following it, and it's really out of order. I've been left without any support now since 2020. My dad's been doing it all, even though I've got a care package, and I had to complain to social services about that, and I'm still waiting. I had a review, but I'm still waiting for them to get back, because they said they were going to help me find a PA, because I can't find a PA on my own, because I get direct payments. My dad manages direct payments because I can't handle it, and we haven't been able to find anyone to meet my housebound needs since 2020. And a previous organisation that was providing support, a local autism charity, basically said to me that they can no longer meet my housebound needs, and that they were discharging me, which is really out of order. And with direct payments, you're expected to look for a PA and find a PA, and there's no way in living hell I can do that. With my condition, I don't have the energy. It's executively demanding. I literally cannot do that. It's just I just can't. I just can't do it. It's overwhelming. I don't know where to start. I explained this to social services, and they said they were going to refer me to Independent Lives, and that Independent Lives would help. I don't quite know what they mean by help. That can be interpreted in different ways. If they mean simply, if they are still expecting me to do the legwork and to find a PA, it's not going to happen. I need someone else to literally find a PA for me. Obviously, I would like to have some say in the matter. I need to know that the person they recruit is appropriate for me, and meets my very strict requirements. They need to take COVID seriously. They need to understand they need to mask and all of that stuff. So I would like to have a say in the matter, obviously, but they need to do the legwork in terms of actually trying to find the person and all of that. So I'm just waiting now for social services to get back to me, but they're taking forever. Obviously I know we've just had Christmas and the New Year, so obviously there's going to be a delay because of that. But I wouldn't be surprised if I'm still waiting in June, because that's social services. They take literally forever. We'll see, but I wouldn't be surprised. But as I say, do go and challenge social services, because you should be getting a support plan and they're basically fobbing you off because it is basically austerity. They're just trying to create excuses not to give you support. And I mean, yeah, it's just really out of order, so do challenge them. Or you might need to do a proper statute, I can't say that word, statutory, that's the word, statutory, can I pronounce that word, complaint. Yeah, it's often the only way these days, is unfortunately to formally complain. But yeah, so what else am I going to say? Oh yeah, I had a weird experience this morning. Let me know, any of you, if you've experienced this before. Something called sleep paralysis. Now, I think I've only ever I have experienced it before, but not for a very, very, very long time. It's not something I experience that often, thankfully, because it's not particularly pleasant. I know some people experience it a lot, but thankfully I don't. It was weird. Yeah, it was. I was just about to wake up. It was early morning. I'd already woken up, but I went back to sleep. And then I was lying on my back, so I was sleeping on my back. And it felt to me that someone was trying to get into my window, that they'd placed a ladder up against my window, and that someone was essentially cleaning, like, you know, like window cleaning, like, and they'd placed a ladder against my window. Obviously this was like basically just a dream, like, there wasn't literally someone outside my window. I was just dreaming it. It might be because I had my white noise machine, because I sleep with a white noise machine on, and it might be that my brain was interpreting the white noise as someone putting a ladder against my window. Anyway, it felt unsettling because I was like thinking, why is there someone with a ladder against my window? But I couldn't move because I was like still asleep. So I was like lying against the bed, and I was like trying to move, and I couldn't. You know, like literally like glued to the bed. I couldn't move. My whole body was like really, really, really relaxed because obviously I was still asleep. So my muscles were all couldn't move, obviously. And I was trying to raise myself, but I couldn't. And it felt really weird because I was like, there's someone outside my window and I can't get up. And then finally I woke up, and then and I was like, oh, it was just this weird dream. Yeah. So anyway, sleep paralysis, that's basically what it's called. Like I said, not something I've experienced that often. I have experienced it before, maybe about 2 times before, but not for like a really, really, really long time. Not for a really, really long time. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd share that because it was interesting. And then afterwards I was Googling sleep paralysis because I just thought it was interesting. Basically what happens is, in sleep paralysis, is where your brain is still in... you're basically halfway between REM sleep and waking. So you're basically still in REM sleep, which is why you like hallucinate. You know, like you might hear, often in sleep paralysis, there's a feeling that like someone or something is in your room. And that could be obviously really unsettling. It's called, I think it's called like a shadow presence, where you feel there's someone in your room or in your space, where you might hear sounds. So sometimes people hear sounds of someone trying to get into their room. Obviously there's no one there, they're just hallucinating it. It's hypnopompic hallucination. Is it hypnopompic? It's the one hallucination where you're like on the verge of waking up. So it's like a waking dream. I can't remember, there's also hypnagogic, but I always get them mixed up. There's one where you're falling asleep and one when you're about to wake up. And then with sleep paralysis, you're kind of like, your brain is still in REM sleep, I think that's right, but you're kind of you're sort of awake, but you're still asleep. It's kind of in a weird kind of limbo sort of situation. And because your muscles are literally, when you're in REM sleep, by the way, your muscles are immobilised, they're paralysed. It's basically so you don't act out dreams. That's basically what it is. In sleep paralysis, because you're basically half awake, you're aware of the paralysis and the fact you can't move your muscles, which is kind of really weird and like uncomfortable because but when you're like dreaming, because it's like a waking dream and often the dream is unpleasant, and that can result in a sense of like extreme helplessness. Some people panic. I didn't panic, but I wanted to get up and I couldn't, and so I was aware of these people outside my room. They weren't. I was just hallucinating it in my dream. And it can make you feel like very helpless, and it can be quite scary. Yeah, basically. Because you literally can't move because your muscles are immobilised because, as they naturally do anyway, but you're not aware of it when you're in REM sleep. The difference is that in sleep paralysis, you're semi-awake, as it were. You're awake, but but your brain is also still sleeping, sort of thing. Yeah. But it only lasts a short period of time. But sometimes people feel like they're being weighed down as well. Like there's pressure. Someone's like literally being pushed down as well. So yeah, again, it's not. I've only experienced it once or twice before, not for a very long time. But I just thought it was interesting. I would describe it as being basically it's a bit like almost. I've never taken drugs myself, but But from what I've heard of people saying, I think it can be described as a bit basically like a trip gone wrong. Basically like a bad trip. So if you want to have a kind of a simulation of what a bad trip might be like, you know, so if taking LSD or something, it reminds me a little bit of what my dad once described when he was a teenager, when someone spiked his drink, and he was basically like paralysed, and he was like hallucinating and he couldn't get up, a bit like that. Yeah. Anyway, okay, I'm going to move over to video number 2 now because there's just a few other things I want to talk about briefly, but just moving over to video number 2 now.